I'm Laura Ingraham. This is the Ingram Angle from Minneapolis tonight. Still the economy stupid. That's the focus of tonight's angle. Working class people are a heck of a lot smarter than politicians and political consultants think they are. Like this man I ran into in Minneapolis yesterday. Bidenomics, they say, is working.
You know what? Long as you blind. Long as you blind, and because half of them is like Biden. They can't think. They can't think at all. They can't think straight at all. It's important that people of all race and color need to wake up and look at the issues. It's not about racism.
On a national level, who could make a difference just to get the economy going again?
The only person can save our beloved country. This beloved country is our beloved President Donald Trump. It's important for us to get him reelected so we can get this country back up on the right track. As you see, all these Democrat states like Chicago, Minneapolis, San Francisco, they all got Democrat mayors. And look what's happening.
Whoa! Unless you like Biden and can't think. Now, let's be honest here. What would have been the likelihood of you seeing a black person, right? Because let's call a spade, a black person a few years ago, just a few short years ago, on camera saying something like that? Let's call a spade. You wouldn't have seen it. You would not have seen it. It didn't exist. Well, very rarely existed. But I see clips like that all the time now. People putting themselves on camera, not just, behind closed doors, whispers, you hear stories of people saying certain things. Oh, they're a Republican. Oh, I didn't know that, on camera saying stuff like that. Just saying. Tables are turning.
Guy should have his own show. And we all know what happened to our once great cities. There's no spinning it. Any honest person who spent time in urban America can see the decay. We can see it with our own eyes. Just like they can see that their own standard of living has declined since Biden took office.
My salary has not kept up with inflation, so even though I'm working, I find that my money is buying less and less when I go to the grocery store, gas station, anywhere.
The Biden administration came out saying that Bidenomics is working for the middle class. What are your thoughts?
It's not. It's not working for my small business. It's not working for our family.
I personally was thinking about retirement, and now I'm thinking about how long can I work.
Every poll is showing that the economy is the #1 issue for the American people, and Biden gets terrible ratings on his handling of the economy, even in the CNN polls. So Republicans, especially Donald Trump, consistently outpoll Democrats on the issue that Biden's weakest on. And this is something that the White House is so worried about that they're now winding Biden up and setting him out to brag about Bidenomics. Now, in the process, he's trying to out-populist Trump on the economy, which is hilarious. Like he was America first. Let's see if you notice the similarities here.
Joe Biden shipped millions of your best jobs overseas, hollowed out the black middle class.
They decided to send the jobs overseas where the labor was cheaper. Entire towns and communities got hollowed out.
After many years of decline, American manufacturing is coming back bigger and better and stronger than ever before.
American manufacturing is back, folks. American manufacturing is back.
The United States lost 60,000 factories after China entered the WTO.
We know for too long, China's dominated the production of raw materials needed for critical products. We're in a real race. China's ahead of us.
Looks like somebody's speechwriter was paying a whole lot of it. Well, not a little attention, a whole lot of attention to Uncle Trump. Because those speeches sounded mighty similar. And Trump said it first. So you can't say Trump is copying. But, Joe Biden's no stranger to lying. allegedly, he actually was going to run before and got caught up in a lie some many years ago. Just saying. I'm just saying.
First, remember, Biden has a long history of pretending that he's someone he's not, right? We know that. And second, of course he's going to fake a Trump-like approach to the economy because Trump's policies actually work. And because Biden's numbers are in the toilet. Look, the facts are undeniable here. Americans were making more when Trump was president, and they felt more optimistic about the future. Barely any inflation, low energy prices. It all meant happier and more hopeful families. Meanwhile, the progress that Biden was out touting today in Maine, it's a fantasy. Inflation may be declining slightly, but big deal since he's the one who punished us with inflation in the first place. And the recent slight improvement in our GDP certainly wouldn't have been possible without the red states that are filled with all those MAGA Republicans Biden thinks are so terrible working as hard as they have. It's because those governors in those red states rejected lockdowns and, frankly, the entire Biden approach to COVID. And, of course, at the same time, they're pushing
6 predominantly Republican-controlled states in the Southeast now make up a higher share of U.S. GDP than a traditional Northeastern powerhouse, including New York, according to federal data. Quite interesting. Quite interesting.
Pro-growth policies, all those policies that Biden hates. So Biden right now is trying to be both a globalist and a populist, but it doesn't work. In the past month, Blinken, Kerry, and Yellen all traveled to China, not to help Main Street, but to reassure Wall Street. Look, you can't be a populist and suck up to the CCP at the same time. And Biden's supposed support for Made in America today, it's all just talk. He already told the EU that he was going to tweak the Made in America provisions that would hurt their imports that he inserted in that so-called Inflation Reduction Act. So those are out the window. In the real world, facts are facts. And despite Democrat spins on the economy, look, reality bites here. Courtesy of Biden's destructive domestic and foreign policy, gasoline is now at an 8-month high, as Russia now is working with OPEC to drive down supply. And all of us who go to the grocery store know that food costs are still way up. They're up a year ago. Bread, frozen vegetables, pet food, all of it. It's a joke. And
oh, yeah. It is an absolute joke. I remember $100 could get you a long way. You know, $120 at the grocery store could get you a long way. $120 now. That's like 3 bags of groceries. It's nothing. It's nothing. I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, you look at the receipt and then you look at the groceries you got and you just start scratching your head like, what in the actual fuck is going on here? Excuse my language, but I mean, it's maddening. You're spending so much money to get this much. And Bidenomics is working. I mean, come on, man. You must be Joe Biden if you think that is working.
It's all
you gotta be blind.
On Biden's shoulders. And who can't help but notice the spike in homelessness all across America? It's heartbreaking and it's infuriating, and it should not be happening in the United States of America. But sadly, that's what you get more of with a bad economy and an open border. Yet the insulated...
I want to see that statistic again. The number of people and families experiencing homelessness jumped nearly 38% this year in 20 major U.S. cities. Jumped almost 40% across 20 different major cities. That is insane. Insane. And along with that, crime is on the rise. But Biden and this administration are doing a great job. Stop it.
More of with a bad economy and an open border. Yet the insulated elites in the media, they're still flummoxed that Joe and Kamala aren't getting economic credit.
The economy seems to be doing fairly well. Why is it that so many people are walking around in this country today saying it's terrible?
It takes a long time for people to get over economic shocks of bad news. When they see a lot of inflation, they assume it's bad for them.
They kept hearing reports for the last year and a half that we are headed into a recession. That kind of fear, plus I think the stress from COVID, that's really held Biden's economy numbers down.
Yeah, people are down on the economy because they're hearing reports that we're going into recession? Really? Again, they think you're that stupid. Now, we all know that Americans who are well off, they can absorb the obscene increases in food, travel, and energy costs. But Biden's policies, we know, caused all this. But for the vast majority, it's all just more hardship. And for those who are living paycheck to paycheck, it's all they think about. And people wonder, gosh, why does Trump have such a hold on GOP voters? Why does he have such a loyal following? Well, first, because he has a record of delivering a strong economy. And second, because for the most part, he's the only candidate really focusing on the economy.
So many young people here are being utterly extinguished. In the Biden economy, 1/3 of Gen Z and millennials have no savings accounts and no saving whatsoever. They have nothing.
He's absolutely right about that.
And I'm happy that he's talking about that as well, because I think that's majorly important. Because at the same, as much as I rag on, socialism and, all of these handouts, I can't completely blame, Gen Z for wanting it, because they can't afford anything. They simply can't. It's impossible for them to even purchase a home. The economy is just too terrible. I mean, it's bad enough buying groceries, let alone purchasing a home. So I'm happy that he's actually stressing that issue, because it's really, really important. And when you have a generation of folks who don't feel that they can make it out of the situation that they're in, even if they work hard, you're going to get what we've been seeing from a lot of these young folks. So it's important for Trump to address that. And I'm happy that he did. Like I said before, I think this is Trump 2.0. Trump has polished up. I mean, this is Trump on steroids this time around, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. He's hitting every single point that he needs to hit. He's not answering certain questions that he shouldn't answer, the same way Democrats do, right? Even when they try to corner him, namely, what was that, the CNN town hall interview where she tried to corner him with the stupid question, and he kind of danced around it a little bit and hit the nail right on the head. Loved it. I mean, what he's doing is incredible. You can't deny him. This guy is going to be our president. It's happening. It's on the way. Just wait on it.
And he's laid out a clear economic agenda.
When I'm back in the White House, I will immediately unleash energy production, slash regulations like I did just 3 years ago, and repeal Biden's tax hikes to get inflation down as fast as possible, and it will go quickly, so that interest rates can get back under control. I built the greatest economy in the history of the world, and now we will have to do it again.
Check out the headline that I found today when I was writing the angle from 2018. Trump has set economic growth on fire. Here's how he did it. Well, during his time in office, the economy had achieved feats most experts thought impossible. GDP growing at 3% plus rate, the unemployment rate near a 50-year low. Meanwhile, the stock market has jumped 27%, they wrote, amid a surge in corporate profits. Yeah, that's where we were. It took a China-generated pandemic to stop the Trump juggernaut. Now, the amazing thing is that everyone did better than blue-collar workers, Wall Street, Silicon Valley, everyone. But if the Republicans leave this lane, this economic lane open for Biden's message on the economy, that somehow things are all getting better and he gets all the credit, if they forget to remind everyone that real wages are down 3% from February 2021, and if they get caught up in the debate over cultural issues, I am telling you tonight, they will be disappointed in the results in 2024. And believe me, as important as it is to get to the bottom of the Biden family corruption, and I think it's really important, that effort should not overshadow serious work on the pocketbook issues that are most important to the voters. Trump is in the lead now by a lot because Trump has credibility on the top concern of Americans in both parties today.
The American dream is dead under Biden. We will have the American dream back very soon. We will rapidly rebuild the greatest economy in the history of the world.
This is what...
It is dead. It is. He's not lying. And, I kind of alluded to that when it came to Gen Z. Like, they can't afford anything. There's no hope for them to get out of the situation that they're in. And even a lot of millennials, right, feel the same way. There's no hope to get out of the situation that they're in. The American dream, as we knew it, is dead. It's dead. It's just not going to happen because of this administration. Bidenomics. But Uncle Trump will bring it back. I'm confident of that.
What the voters want: more money in their pockets and jobs that are not going to be shipped overseas. So here's a novel idea. Let's give this message to all of them in all 50 states, in inner city Philadelphia, here in Minneapolis, in Los Angeles, and Chicago. No city or state left behind. And that's the angle.
Hey, love that. Love that. Love it, love it, love it. Shout out to Laura. Shout out to Laura. Yeah, I don't see how, for one, Republicans going after Joe Biden, which, yes, it should happen, but I've stated my reasons as to why I'm not the biggest fan of it, or getting Joe Biden out of office, because we get a stronger opponent if Joe's out of office. So, like, logically, that just doesn't make sense to me. Should we expose him? Yeah, absolutely. But I think that should be done a little closer to the election, when they can't replace him, when it's too late for them to usher out somebody different, in my humble opinion. I feel like a lot of Republicans don't have strategy. There's zero strategy. When you look at Democrats, there's a lot of strategy involved. As much as I, completely disagree with Democrat politicians, the establishment Democrats have a whole lot of strategy involved. A whole lot. It's just so much. It's just that their policies are so terrible that even with all of their strategy, they're losing. But Republicans aren't necessarily winning. They're just being given the W because Democrats are so terrible, if that makes any sense. It's like, I guess I'll say it this way. It's not like Republicans are out there winning, by telling everyone the truth or winning over people. They're just winning people by default because Democrats are just so trash. Democrats are just so trash that people are like, well, I guess Republicans are our only other option. We're going to go over there with them. Right? And Republicans are over here like, oh, yeah, we're going to go after Joe Biden. We're going to get Joe Biden out of office. No, you bozo. In my humble opinion. This is just my humble opinion. I'm sitting here like, no, you bozo. You get Joe Biden out of office and what? You want Michelle and Gavin? Who, yes, we know. We know how terrible they would be. But does America know? I fear that America doesn't. And Gavin, as we've heard and talked about, he can talk. He can put on a good show, okay? He can put on a great show. So would you rather have Joe Biden mumbling, bumbling, and stumbling and have his track record on the line versus Gavin Newsom, who can speak and very articulately? He's not mumbling, bumbling, stumbling, and the darling Michelle Obama? Like, it's just common sense to me that you would rather take Joe. I want Joe. So I just hate watching Republicans just go around just like chickens with their heads cut off. Like, oh yeah, we're going to go after this over here. Which, yes, it's great. Go after Hunter. Go after Joe. Expose them. But keep it under wraps. Keep it under wraps. Keep it quiet. When 2024 rolls around, right, which isn't far away, It'll be here before you know it. That's when you drop it all. That's when you unleash the Kraken, right? That's when you let all of the dirt fly. In my humble opinion, that's when you let it go. But that's just me. Maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe I'm the bozo in this equation. Y'all let me know in the comment section below how y'all feeling. Thankfully, Uncle Trump is a very well articulated individual. Okay. He has strategy involved in what he's doing currently. So he's above, as far as I'm concerned, what Republicans are currently doing. Trump is sitting up here, which is why his polls just continue to creep on up. The longer this thing goes on, he's just slowly stair-stepping his way up. Okay. But yeah, Republicans need more strategy, man. But y'all let me know if I'm an idiot. That's possible. I'm still new. Peace and love. I'm out.